Good morning, my dear students. In our previous class, we had studied about the discovery of electron, which was discovered by J.J. Thomson. Before we proceed, I would like to beg your pardon. While after uploading the video, while I was watching that video, I had made a mistake. Rather, you can say it a slip of lips. Once I had used that electrons are positively charged. My dear students, electrons are not positively charged. It is negatively charged and it has a charge of one negative unit means 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. I am sorry for that. I am sorry for giving you the wrong information. Once again, I would like to make you a pardon. I'm sorry. So today we shall proceed. Now it was the question, after the discovery of electron, why an atom is electrically neutral? If there are electrons, there may be one electrons. In the previous class I have told you only hydrogen has one electron. Likewise, beryllium, boron, carbon, silicon, there are many atoms, all have electrons, at least one or more electrons. So if the atoms have electrons and electrons are negatively charged, that means the atom should be negatively charged, but atoms are electrically neutral. Why? Why the atoms are electrically neutral? So this laid an concept for the scientist, for the chemist, that there must be some things, there must be some other subparticles, subatomic particles which are positively charged. This led to the invention of proton. So after the discovery of electrons, it was discovery of proton. Before proceeding this, I would like to recapitulate the same thing what we had studied. This is the discharge tube. At this pressure 0.01 atmospheric or 0.01 mm of mercury, or even we can use mm of mercury, when a high voltage current of 10,000 volt is passed, a set of rays originated from cathode to anode and they travel in the straight line. The same experiment it was repeated by this gentleman Goldstein. Goldstein repeated the same experiment, but what he found, we will see the book later on, while these rays are originated at cathode, at the same time another set of rays are originated from anode to cathode. They travel from anode to cathode, anode to cathode in a straight line. He further extended his experiment. What he had done, if this is your positive terminal, means if this is your anode, this strip is your anode, this one is your cathode, the rays, if we put an electrical field, if it has negatively charged, this is positive terminal of the positive field of the electrical field. These rays are deflected. These rays are deflected towards the negative field. These rays were deflected towards negative field. We can draw a new figure. This is your cathode, this is your anode. So when an electrical field is kept in the path of the rays, this anode rays going straight towards the cathode, they are deflected towards the negative terminal of the electrical field. Now once again the scientists were compelled to think कि if these rays are deflected, if they bend towards the negative terminal, negative field, that means these rays are positively charged, and if these rays are positively charged means they are made up of some small tiny particles. They named it as proton. They had done some more experiment. Why they are these rays, anode rays, are also called as canal rays, anode rays, positive rays. Why they are called as canal rays? In general language, what we say about canal is it is I don't know the exact Hindi word. It is surang, na? Like that. He means Goldstein extended his experiment. He kept a perforated disc. What is now perforated disc? Like the CD. These are the holes. These are the different holes. So perforated means having some holes. We call it perforated. Now when he kept this perforated disc here in the path of the rays, and there were many holes, there may be some problem in the drawing, my dear friends. No need to worry, no need to comments. So these rays passed, these cathode rays passed from these holes, and these anode rays also passed from the holes. As a result, on this basis, Goldstein named these anode rays as canal rays, since they are deflected towards the negative terminal of the electrical field. That means they are oppositely charged, means these anode rays are positively charged. Therefore, he also called it as positive rays. Now we should go through the books. More or less same thing will be there. Goldstein noticed another set of rays traveling in a direction opposite to that of the cathode rays. Means cathode rays were coming from cathode to anode. Another set of rays is going from anode to cathode in the same pattern, in straight line from anode towards cathode. When a perforated cathode means a metallic disc having many holes here. When it was kept in the path, cathode was used in the above discharge tube, the rays passed like this. He called these rays as canal rays, since these rays pass through holes or canals in the cathode. These rays were named as anode rays, since it originated from the anode, passed or traveled towards cathode. And positive rays. Why positive rays? Because they are positively charged. If these rays were not positively charged, how they were deflected towards the negative terminal, negative field of an electrical field? On that basis, it was called as positive rays. There were some properties. If you compare the properties of anode rays and properties of cathode rays, you may have some similarity. Like this. Anode rays travel in straight line. Cathode rays also travel in straight line. And here anode rays also travel in straight line. See, consist of minute particles and produce mechanical effect. If you remember, on that class I had told you that when a light fan or light particle is kept, these cathode rays are made up of small minute particles. This starts rotating. These particles strike this opaque thing, start rotating. Likewise, anode also strikes and it starts rotating. Means it causes a mechanical effect. Then positive rays means anode rays are deflected by electrical as well as magnetic field, but in a direction opposite to that of cathode rays. Now there should be no confusion. Cathode rays were deflected, they bent towards positive field, and anode in the opposite means towards the negative field. So since they are deflected towards negative field, that means these rays are made up of positively charged particles which were given the name as proton. If you remember this point, these rays produces some shining effect. Fluorescence means shining effect on the path. If there is a screen here, if it is of zinc sulfide, when these rays comes here, strikes this, here will be a shining. So they produce fluorescence on a zinc sulfide screen. Then, like cathode rays, they are positively charged. Anode rays are positively charged. It will have some mass. Likewise, this like these cathode rays, these anode rays, they have positive charge. They have some mass. So the ratio of charge to mass, we will get a constant value, and this constant value may differ from gas to gas. If we are using helium gas, this ratio may be something. If we are using another neon gas or any other gas, so this ratio differ from gas to gas. But for a specific gas, for any specific gas, the ratio will be always constant. Now, what were the properties of protons? One thing I would like to say, whether it is electron or proton, both have the charge 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This also has the charge 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. My dear students, this charge, this 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, it is considered as 1 unit charge. So, one electron, whether it is 1 electron or 1 proton, 1 electron carry 1 unit charge, 1 proton carry 1 unit charge. But what is the difference? The electron carry 1 unit negative charge and proton carry 1 unit positive charge. Right? In class 7 or 8, we have studied that in an atom the number of electrons and number of protons are always equal. So how many positive charges are there? There will be the same number of negative charges. As a result, the atom becomes electrically neutral. So a proton possesses a unit positive charge plus 1, which has the values 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This charge, it was given by a scientist named Coulomb. I am forgetting his full name. On his basis, on his name, on his regard, in his honor, this charge is, the unit is given as coulomb. So electron carry minus 1 charge, 1 unit charge, and protons carries plus 1, yeah, 1 positive unit charge. Its mass is same that of hydrogen, means its mass is very much close to 1 unit, just like as hydrogen. See, we had studied the mass of an electron is 1 by 1837 times less than hydrogen. Now we can say in another word, if the mass of proton and hydrogen is more or less same, so the mass of proton is 1830 times 37 times more than that of mass of an electron. The proton resides means it lives, it resides means रहता है. The protons resides in the central part, in the middlemost part, central part of an atom. Not today. Tomorrow we will see that, or in the next class we will see that central part is known as your nucleus. This word was given our honorable scientist Rutherford. He was given a regard of Lord. So Lord Rutherford discovered the nucleus. So these were the properties of protons. Protons may be defined, it is one of the atomic particles. So what we came to know today, कि an atom is made up of electrons and protons. But not only these two, there will be another subatomic particle, neutron. We will see it in the next class. So proton may be defined as a subatomic particle having mass 1 atomic mass unit, or it is equals to the mass of hydrogen, and it bears 1 positive charge. 1 positive charge, my dear students, we can see 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb as 1 unit charge. Once again, I would like to remind you that this 1 unit charge is carried by a proton, it is carried by an electron. What is the difference? The proton carries plus 1 unit charge, plus 1 unit charge, and electron carries minus 1 unit charge. Here it is denoted here at the left side in bottom. This denotes the charge, and here it denotes the mass. So the subscript 1 represent the mass of proton 1 AMU, and plus 1 represents the charge 1 unit positive charge. So hydrogen, so far this is a new thing for you. The proton is what? Suppose here is your atom hydrogen. It has 1 electron. It has 1 electron and 1 proton, nothing else. Now it has neutron also, my dear friends, but so far what we are going to see, if hydrogen has 1 electron and 1 proton, if this hydrogen loses one electron, what will happen? Now it will have only one positive charge. As a result, this hydrogen will be positively charged, and this positive charged hydrogen is called as your proton, right? It is just like that. कि we had studied na कि when sodium loses one electron, it becomes sodium what? Positive charge, means it forms sodium ion. Likewise, when chlorine, it is neutral. When it gains one electron, it becomes negatively charged. Once again, I would like to remind you, my dear friends, it is chlorine, neutral chlorine. So we will call it chlorine ion, na? No. No need to say no chlorine ion, but it will be chloride ion. Never use chlorine ion. Always say chloride ion. Then, after the discovery of this electron and protons, once again, Mr. J.J. Thomson came in light and gave some concepts which are known as plum pudding experiment, or he gave a model known as plum pudding model. What is now plum pudding model? An atom is considered to be spherical. An atom is considered to be a sphere of uniform positive charge and negative charge. Electrons are embedded into it. Atoms are spherical. At the central part, positive charges means protons are there and electrons are embedded. Embedded means क्या कहेंगे? What word we should use? उसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन सजा हुआ है, यही कह सकते हैं. दे आर embedded, electrons are embedded into it. Now, total positive charge means total number of protons. Just a few minutes before I had told you na कि in any atom, why an atom is electrically neutral? Because it contains same number of protons and same number of electrons, means same number of positive charge and same number of negative charge. So the total positive charge means number of proton is equal to the total negative charge, means total number of proton, it is equal to total number of electrons. So as a result, an atom is electrically neutral. The mass of an atom is considered to be uniformly distributed. These three concepts or three ideas given by J.J. Thomson, it is called plum pudding model of an atom. So this is for today, my dear students. Like previous classes, once again I would like to tell you very and very frankly, the management, rather not management, rather the whole nation, whole world, we have to do nothing with world, we have to deal with our school. Due to this contagious disease, this dangerous disease, our school is not in a position to run. So on this online classes, my dear students, we the teachers realize you might have some problems. No need to hesitate. We are teachers, we are your teachers, we are your friends, we are your fathers. No need to hesitate. If you have any problem, you can ask your queries, you can clear your doubts anytime, whenever you want to clear your doubts. Please, no need to hesitate. We all are friends. We hope you will do. Thank you. Best of luck. And once again, I would like to beg your pardon for using positive charge for electrons in the last class. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.